Good morning, guys. How is everyone doing? I'm just popping in here. Hope everybody is doing well. I'm waiting right now for the rest of the guys to get in here. Right now, I'm just going to go over some updates here on the market. It is crazy. I mean, it's absolutely pandemonia in the streets here in the market. You know, last week the world was falling apart. Now this week the world is actually coming together. Go figure, right? I know we've had some travesties yesterday in Texas. Many blessings on those who've lost family members and loved ones. My heart goes out to every one of you guys, and you are in my prayers and you're in my thoughts. And I pray that you guys are okay. So it's just, it's a really unique situation that we have right now for that. Ralphie, how you doing? We are live in the air and we are ripping and roaring to talk about.
I'm actually trying to work on my cam right now. That's why I'm taking a little while. Like, my wife moved everything around while I was gone.
Ooh.
And I'm trying to work on my cam. I don't know if I'm going to look good once I go live. I don't know.
Ralphie, you always look good. What you talking about? I mean, you stood next to Mr. V Man himself. Oh, dang, look at you when you sexy self. Yeah. Give me that the steel look. Come on, there you go. Give me that model look. Yeah. Work it. Vogue it. There we go now. Woo. So yeah, I was just saying, we got some really crazy stuff going on right now in the markets. We're seeing some buybacks. We're seeing some stuff coming in. We'll find out. We're definitely seeing the accumulation period within the market, which is I absolutely love. Crypto market, man. We're seeing some sideways action, consolidation. Who knows? We may go up, we may go down. But one thing I know, people are making money. That's for sure.
Making money.
Money.
Oh, anyways, there we go. We got some light now.
There we go. I can see clearly now. The rain is gone. There you go. There we go. Having fun here. Yep. So
let me know when we're live. Let me know when we're
we are live. We are live. Oh yes.
Oh hey.
Oh
didn't see you there. I'm Ralphie.
It's all good.
And today we're on the Moonrock Roundtable.
You know what? I love that. We actually, you know what? We need to do a sound clip of that with like some intro music, and you're like money, and then have you like, and today,
I like that.
I'm Ralphie is here, and you're in the Moonrock Roundtable. Money. Dude, that would be some top. That would be top notch right there. That'd be player status. Player. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Anyways, so how you doing, my friend? How are things?
Everything's great. Everything's amazing. We just came out of a very long meeting this morning, right?
Yes, we did.
Yeah, no, things are great. We've definitely been making some strides, right, with Moonrock. As you know, Pedro.
Yes, sir.
Talking everything between partnerships, Iron Inu, Moonrock, the content stuff, the programming stuff, the new and improved backend dashboard. I mean, there's so much coming down pretty soon that everyone else out there will be able to see, right? So very excited about that. I mean, I'm very excited about presenting that to our followers, to our token holders. Yeah, I mean, overall, the markets, doing what the markets do, panicking. Well, not so much panic anymore. Now it feels like you have people that sensible people that are putting money in institutions. I mean, we try to educate the public, right? We try to educate the retail investor, which is the average Joe, you know, the mechanic, the construction worker, the office worker, the assistant. But I mean, you know, they can do they do as they wish. They do as they please.
Yes,
But the thing is, it's like we see it, right, Pedro? You see it.
yes, yes.
The
I
bigger
literally
the
do
bigger
see them
ones,
in
the
the
big
market.
whales, the big whales
Yeah.
are eating up all of this.
Yes, they are. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And
Yes.
by the way, I mean, you can do this. If you don't see it in the charts, that's okay. Do this real quick.
Yeah.
Go on LinkedIn, go on Indeed, go on a lot of these big institutional websites and look up their job boards and how much they're hiring people for crypto related jobs.
Yes.
That's how you
Yes.
know that these people are doubling down. Especially right now in this current environment when there's a recession looming by, there's like all these things happening, right? And these guys are just doubling down on it, even on things on a portion of their budget that just, you know, will consume more of their profits, which is employing more. Usually what happens is when you see a looming recession, corporations tend to right size, meaning they downsize, right? They just try to they change the wording just so that they can make people feel better. They're right
Well,
sizing.
let's actually we could actually talk about it, because if we look at right now the sector of the loan section for housing and car loans and things like that, what do we see? We literally see them downsizing.
Oh yeah, big
right?
time. Big
Yeah,
time.
big time, because
And it's happening
interest rates are
naturally.
going up.
Really, they don't even need to right size. Okay, they
Yeah,
don't need to right size.
yeah,
All they need to do is let people quit.
yep, yeah,
Because they're not making as much money anymore, and you know they're
yeah.
getting their Ferraris and Lambos repossessed.
Yep.
I mean,
But
dude,
here's the
it's not
thing.
an easy payment. It's not an easy payment. I mean, I got friends with Ferraris and Lambos. They're making $3,000 payments. You know, it could be a low interest rate, but I mean, $3,000 is a $3,000. That's a mortgage for some people.
Well, that's the thing, right? Is that within the last, I mean, with these interest rates that we've had at rock bottom for the last, almost 10 years, right? It's been almost crazy what's actually been going on. Now that they're moving up, we actually have to hold off. There's some type of hyperinflation that's going on. We're seeing people quit their jobs who are primarily, because right now the loan business is primarily a pure commission system, and so they're basically going to downsize by that idea of but they're also laying off your secretaries, they're laying off actuaries, right?
Well,
People,
you know who's getting laid off the most is HR people.
yeah, there you go. Yep.
And you know who's
Because
hiring? Who's hiring those HR people?
crypto,
Crypto,
yeah, yeah. Well, and hedge funds that are
and
looking,
hedge funds and banks.
yeah, yep.
Yeah, guys. So I mean, look, and here's the thing. Why do they do that? Because they already been around these cycles. They've already done this stuff. You know, they've been going through other recessions and things like that. They just see another opportunity. What do? You got to double down during those times to grow the departments you want to grow. And what do they choose to grow? Crypto. So what should you be doing right now? I'll let you decide that. I'm not going to tell you what to do. But I think we're dropping enough gems here for you guys
little nuggets.
And you know what? I will say this. This isn't financial advice, of course. This is now more life advice. If you like crypto, if you think that crypto is something that is going to continue growing, and you're a professional in something that could be translatable to crypto, whether it be something in media, marketing, or it could be something in accounting, it could be something, you could be an assistant for an executive, right? There are lots and lots of crypto jobs, and they're popping up everywhere. They're popping up all over the world. A lot of them are remote, which is amazing for a lot of you out there. And I would suggest, get a lot of you should get your resumes ready. and prepare yourselves to, sell yourselves to some of these crypto companies, whether it be crypto.com or blockchain.com or Coinbase or whatever. um, and link up with me on LinkedIn. Link up with me on LinkedIn, and let's see if maybe, if you're really interested or something like that. I have a lot of connections there, and perhaps maybe there's, you never know what happens. You can uh, find your next job some way somehow. Um, by the way, are we on Twitter right now? Are we live streaming
Yeah, we are live on all streams,
on
on
all
all
streams? Okay, cool.
platforms.
So that means
Moving
for everybody.
head on.
For
Yes.
everybody, even
Now,
if you're not on, even if you're not on Moonrock,
yeah,
if you're
yeah.
not a token holder with us, doesn't matter. I mean,
Or
I
if
think
you're watching, if you could like, share, on all your social medias, letting people know that where we
like,
are.
share,
Uh,
retweet, all that good stuff. Let people know that we're
yep,
here.
yep.
And this is the round
Instagram,
table at
yep,
Moonrock. I mean, we don't just talk about Moonrock. I mean, we'll talk about anything. Just like right now,
yep.
we'll talk about the opportunities that are available at this current moment, not just as an investor, but even yourself trading your hours for dollars, right? Because that's something that you can control. You can control the hours in your day. There's 24 for all of us. That's something that, whether you're a billionaire or millionaire, or if you're a regular person, that you can control, right? And how do you control that? Some of you have jobs, some of you are investors, some of you are whatever. Now, yes, many of you need that job, maybe you need that hourly income or whatever that case may be, in order to survive, in order to, continue making your other investments. And that's why it's important to discuss the opportunities that are available today, in order for you guys to continue growing yourselves, right? It would be awesome to see more people part of our community that are also working in entities such as Coinbase, or, blockchain, crypto.com, and like all these other, there's so many companies out there. I mean, I'm naming the big ones, but there's a bunch of startups out there that need people. So, I hope, I mean, I
Bro,
really do hope that, like, people can get on that. What Anderson Horowitz,
yeah.
those guys are, by the way, one of the biggest VCs, like, for crypto, right?
And the world, and they've been in the they've been around for years, guys. And these guys are, I mean, doubling down. I mean, who was it? The guy. Let's talk about that guy. Now, we've talked about here how
I mean, I've seen them. I've seen
the
them get. Even during these turbulent times, they're like 40 million here, 50, 60, 80 million there, like leading multiple $100 million raises.
easily,
Yeah,
dude. They keep that they're not. We're in this where people in a down market are going, oh no, the sky is falling, the sky is falling. Man, we have consistently seen these guys constantly just raising money and trying to get money into crypto. I mean, this is, I mean, I wonder what is their, how deep are they in? I bet you, man, they're probably in
billion,
a
billions with
hundred
a B.
billion.
Billions.
Yeah, a
They're in
hundred
the billions.
billion, maybe
Here's
50
the thing.
billion. It's
Because they know what's
ridiculous.
happening, man. Everything's getting
Yep.
tokenized, bro. Everything is getting
hmm
tokenized.
These
Everything.
guys, this guy's going to be ridiculous. It is going to be ridiculous how huge Anderson, or I always mess it up, Andreessen and Horowitz fund. I mean, they're going to be a block rock. I mean, legitly, these guys
This
have
is
the
this is how
connections.
this is how like this is how like a
Yep,
whale can eat a whale.
yep, yep.
This is the moment. This is the moment. If
This
you
is
got some,
literally the
if you're
moment.
up there in if you're up there if you're up there in that category of funds, that, like, you're investing, like, you're not a BlackRock, but you're up there. Like, this is how you can,
Mhm.
boop, leap above the big one.
Easy, easy. I mean, I'll say like this: they're getting into coins, right? That are they're small coins. I mean,
Yeah.
they understand DeFi. They understand, and they have experts who understand experts and
Right.
DeFi. And so they're getting into startup coins that are sitting at maybe $1 million market cap, and they're coming in buying maybe, you know, 30,000, 50,000, $100,000 in at these small coins. In addition, into it, they're in small cap, mid cap, large cap. They are putting themselves. So when these small coins in the next bull run go 1,000x, a 10,000x, 100,000x, and I know that sounds crazy, especially to the traditional investor. But the reality is It's going to be, and I equate it to like this. When Nathan Rothschild flipped back in the 1700s in the Battle of Waterloo, when he literally single-handedly took all of the wealth from England. That is literally what is happening right now.
I mean, let's look at Moonrock for a second, right? Let's look at Moonrock.
There we go. Yep.
Right, 2 million market cap, right, or around there, a little bit less. To get to $1 billion, it's a 500x.
500.
That's a 500x, man.
Dude, if we did 10, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying. Let's just put that into perspective for one of these funds, right?
They're
like, okay, let's say we can put $1 million investment. We're talking like, let's think as a venture capitalist, right? They do, when they invest in things, they are particularly looking at the risk versus reward, okay? And they're also understanding that, 9 out of 10 of their investments, 8 out of 10 of their investments are going to fail, right? So for them, they're like, okay, I can put $1 million into this, it can go to 0, or I can put $1 million to this and make it go to 500 million.
Right? I mean, does that sounds good to me? Well,
and so then you get these guys, and then you get 10 of them together, right? And so now you are able to raise $10 million. It's pretty much how it goes. So now it's not easy, of course, for entities like Moonrock to just get the money immediately. There's a lot of meetings that get involved in it. There's a lot of show and tell. There's a lot negotiation and things like that. And of course, we're very cognizant of our community. And so we're not going to do something that's going to hurt our community or anything like that. And so we always have to look at those predatory type of venture capital firms that, want to take strong advantage. But regardless of the fact, right, we are looking at all these potential avenues to raise capital. And when we see that, we also see, again, the job growth, everything, right, that's going on. So again, going back to that point, man, I really think that everyone here, whoever's watching, that is not working in a crypto related career, and maybe they're not happy in their job, maybe it's time to look outside. Maybe look at you can work sales. I mean, I know a lot of you out there are probably salespeople. Look at sales in crypto. Look at being an engineer in some of these blockchain related projects that are making products. There's so many things, man. Like every day I see these things, and I'm talking to a lot of different founders, and I see what they need too. Like a lot of them are hiring, and especially when they get funded. Like that's something else that you guys might want to start tracking. Like, and maybe we should start talking about that at Moonrock. Yeah. We should start posting that on social media. We should start tracking and telling people, hey, look, so-and-so just got $50 million. So-and-so just got $80 million.
KA. I'm announcing this now. KA, jump on that, my friend. Let's get that up and running.
That would be reality great. Then our people in our community can go attack those jobs. And then you never know.
Exactly.
Then we got a bunch of Moonrockers working in these different entities, And I already know, I'm not going to say who, of course, but I already know of some Moonrockers that just recently got hired in people from our community that have come to me like, hey, Ralph, could you help me with this interview thing? What kind of questions would you ask and stuff like that? And by the way, guys, if I have some time, I will devote 15, 20, 30 minutes of my time to our Moonrockers, man. I mean, I love you guys.
Always.
Right. Yes. And so I've helped a couple of them who actually finally succeeded getting a job in some of these crypto blockchain, startups. And I know these are devoted, Moonrockers that are now inside of these, tech startups and are talking about us. And that's how little by little we will grow, my friends. We will continue to grow. So I'm super excited, man. I'm super excited of the future, especially coming from, can we talk about VCon? Let's talk about VCon.
Yes, please.
And
wait, before you go in, I just want to throw this out, and we'll hit VCon. Terra Luna community approves Do Kwon's plans to revive the project.
Terra 2.0. I know Huobi is going to be going live with Terra 2.0 on the 27th.
Yep. Yep.
Um, uh, what else did I hear
Crazy,
about
right?
that? Yeah, yeah. I mean, look, I mean, they got to do it. I mean, everybody is like everyone, even these exchanges, like they're all, you know,
They're hurt.
I'm
And they're
thinking in
hurting.
Spanish. I'm trying to translate the like what I'm trying to say into English.
Well, they're
Basically,
up the creek
between
with
a rock
the
and a hard
company
spot
that
is what
lost
I'm
the
trying to say.
battle. What's up?
Between a rock and a hard spot is what I'm trying to say.
Absolutely.
You know, in Spanish, it's like entre la espada y la pared. So it's like you got like a knife here, and you got the wall behind you, right? It's like whatever you do, it's like you're kind of stuck. You know, you're gonna have to go with it, even if that exchange doesn't agree with Terra Luna's approach and what they've done in the past and all that. They're gonna have to move forward because a lot of their exchange users got what that were affected, right, by the OG Terra Luna, and now they need access to whatever is going to happen to Terra 2.0, right? Whether it means they need to migrate their coin, they're going to get their airdrop, or they're going to do whatever they're going to do with Terra 2.0, they need to be involved in it, right? So
Absolutely.
I see where they're at. Like a lot of those exchanges, they don't want to be in that situation.
Who would? I mean, but
No, yeah, it's a
right.
tough one.
Like, it's like when Lehman Brothers came out, right? Everybody was like, "Oh, dang!" Like, I mean, just the Lehman Brother like culture was just like in the wild, wild west, taking big crazies on, but they always would succeed because their friends would help them out or bail them out. But they were cocky, right? And that's
Now,
kind of like what happened here, you know?
Lehman, well, the thing is, Lehman put themselves into debt that took them out of existence, right?
Yes, good point.
I mean, and
yeah.
that's the thing is like
Yeah.
you can't right now, as of right now, okay, as of right now, you can't really do that. But
Yeah, in crypto.
in the
Got it.
future, I don't know, and I hope blockchain never gets there to that point. But Lehman
Oh,
really
come on.
indebted.
I see it, but I see it. We're
I
already
hope not.
starting.
The thing is, history does
Dude, we're
repeat
starting
itself.
loans. I mean, he went and got a loan. All right, so like it's remember the whole entire thing that was set up was loans being repackaged and being sold off as
Yeah,
good
and
loans.
well, I mean, not just
Okay.
that; those loans were being sold as AAA, AA, which means like
good loans.
like
We're being
perfect,
packaged
you
as
know,
good
like
loans
the people with the people, you know, taking those loans are perfect, right? When in reality they were selling crap.
They were literally selling D-rated, triple D-rated loans,
Yeah,
intermixed, right? And with B's and A's, but it was in the beginning, it was a small amount. It was maybe like 10%. But
right.
by the end of 2008, it was maybe 70, 80% of these loans or these packaged loans were packaged with asset, or what they call them? I'm forgetting what it's called. Anyways, but the reason I said is,
What are you talking about?
yeah, the asset-backed securities, but those
So
asset-backed
in this case,
securities,
mortgage, so MBS, mortgage-backed security.
yeah,
But
we're
but let's let people let's I mean, for those people out there that don't understand what that is, right?
Yeah.
So what happened was back in the day, you would consider someone that has right now, you would consider someone that has a $200,000 income, very low debt, buying a $300,000 house with a $2,000 monthly payment, as you know, a AAA, you know, debt debtor, like a person that can hold that debt. So like that particular loan is beautiful because very low risk, right? That individual that took that loan is someone with a great income, low debt, and a very low, you know, compared to their income, very low monthly payment for their mortgage. So anyone would
wasn't
want
it
to
like a
invest.
10? Wasn't like a 10%? Like a grade A was 10% of debt to income ratio. As the debt was 10 to 15% of
So,
the
but let's just finish up this thought. So basically,
yeah.
think of that beautiful scenario for an investor. Anybody would be like, yeah, I'll be willing to, you know, get into that and lend him some money because that person is most likely not going to be late on their mortgage or even never be in that situation where they're going to, you know, default on their mortgage. But what happened was that back in the day, they were saying the bartender with 4 different properties that they have mortgaged out making $50,000 a year with a boat and 2 new cars is a AAA.
Yeah.
Right? That was a problem. That they were selling that type of customer as a AAA loan versus, and here's the thing. Now with a blockchain, you have so much transparency, and I already know of projects that are even creating their own uh, call it like a credit, like a credit score, credit monitoring, and things like that on the blockchain. That it'll make things so transparent that it'll almost be impossible to even do that, to even say that this loan is coming from a person that is AAA when in reality they're like a D or an F, right? So the point is that, like, with blockchain technology, I don't know if it's possible. I don't think it'll be possible, right? Because of so much transparency. And I think that's why so many of these startups and new companies are coming in, because of that increased transparency. And talking about transparency, we can talk about some news that just came out of Coinbase recently, actually just yesterday.
What is it? You're holding us on the leash here.
Well, I mean, right now, let's look at Coinbase right now, right? So Coinbase just yesterday.
And don't forget to talk about V.
We'll talk about VCon. Yeah, we'll talk about VCon.
Yeah,
but
VCon in a
if you want, go on Coinbase. Like, go. If you can go on Google and put news, look up news and put Coinbase. And check out how Coinbase was just now added to the list of top 500 companies.
Oh, and the last thing is, we also want to talk about the World Economic Forum and how they are talking about crypto as well.
Oh, that's all they're talking about, bro. That's all they're talking about.
Oh,
well, I mean, they're talking about the war, of course, and what's going on.
Yeah.
Possible recession looming all across the world.
Yeah.
Doom and gloom.
China closing down. It's. Yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I mean, you got a company like Coinbase, which is, right now the largest publicly traded crypto company out there. Now it's part of the top 500 companies in the world, in the U.S. Specifically for publicly traded, and going a little bit further into that, basically, what I want to say is that Coinbase is in a particular position to make all of crypto look very, very good. All of crypto, like people are looking at Coinbase and then judging all of crypto based off Coinbase. That's a really good thing, because Coinbase is spending almost all of its money on having the best legal talent, having the best programmers, having the best of everything in the world. So I follow them very closely. Coinbase is making us as an industry look very, very good. And I mean, I suggest you guys, keep tabs on what they're doing there. It's definitely, if they make a wrong move, it'll affect everything. But I don't think they will.
I was going to say, they're brilliant. They're not. He's not arrogant or cocky.
Right.
Yeah, they really are, and they got a great think tank. I like kind of what they're talking about. Like, they're staying away from anything risky. They're not, they're just, like you said, they're being very methodical. They're being very meticulous in their decisions that they're making. I wish that they wouldn't be so strict, especially in this bear market. I mean, I think there is some wiggle room for some of the stuff that they can do to actually help out, but they're smart. They are smart. They're smart cookies.
They are very smart.
All right, so
very smart.
Here we go.
Can you see me by any chance?
Yeah, we can see you, brother. Yes, we can.
See me? Okay, great. I don't know. There is an issue with my phone there. All right.
You're perfect, my friend. Perfect. Especially with the big lob on your left cheek. You're great.
What do I have on my left cheek?
No, you're good, brother. No, man. So I'm looking at. So what were you talking about? The card? Were you talking about the unlocking or the security measures, or the Web 3.0 stuff that they're doing?
Just click on news for Coinbase.
Okay, boom.
Up at the top.
I'll just,
like, you know, the news tab on
yep,
Google.
right there. Yep. Coinbase is the first Bitcoin firm in Fortune 500. Coinbase enters Fortune 500 list of biggest U.S. companies. Coinbase makes history as the first crypto company on the Fortune 500, just in time for a crypto winter. Coinbase led Travel Rule Group. Why is my brain? Travel Rule Group grows members, expands to Canada and Singapore. This is all within the last 24 hours here. Coinbase offers thousands of tokens to expand swap services. Why Block, Coinbase, and Silvergate Capital sank today. Yeah, what else? What are we looking for? What are we looking? We're just seeing all the good stuff that they're doing. Coinbase, 51 billion nosedive is only about crypto winter.
And
Which is true.
They dropped. And the thing is, it's making it a good candidate for a buy-in. You know, like there
Yeah,
are
that's exactly.
There are very big funds right now buying Coinbase. Like I remember, I was on the airplane on my way down to Miami from Minneapolis, and I was watching CNBC, and I was watching the charts, and CNBC, they're trying to build this narrative that like Coinbase, you know, like risky, the stock, you know, all the and BS, and then you're seeing the chart going up as they're talking about it.
Yeah.
And I love seeing that. I love seeing that. It's almost like when Jim Cramer of CNBC says, "You got to buy this stock." That's when you got to short it. That's when you go and short it. All right, because it's almost like 100% guaranteed. Almost, I would say.
Yes.
That like whenever he says buy something, sell it. If he says sell something, buy it. It's called the inverse Cramer effect. It's literally almost becoming like an indicator for trading. For traders.
Well, it is interesting. It's you have a tool. So he does have his avid followers, and he has like you know how crypto followers we're almost like fanatical with the coin, and the way we look at certain things, we're just always about like looking at it, right? And I'm sorry, I had to check out the market here real quick. I just needed to see where orders were coming in. We're at a level here where we're creating a wick. I just want to see the velocity of buyers and sellers stepping in. So forgive me. And plus, this is entertaining too, right here. Just this, I used to look at these for hours, watching the patterns of the numbers and the buy orders coming in. You can actually see when we have iceberg orders coming in. Speaking of iceberg orders, that's actually what's going on with Coinbase stock. You actually are seeing a ton of buy orders stepping in every time we come in, but they disguise them with iceberg orders. So when iceberg order comes in, it's a masked in the actual stock system, because it's not like a blockchain where you can actually go through and see every ledger coming in and out, right? Within the exchanges, you can hide orders, and literally 90% of the orders are hidden, and so you can put those in and be able to keep them. So there's certain ways to be able to see them within the actual block, within the setting up your time and sales to a certain extent. I mean, you can see them. I mean, a lot of them, you can also do orders where they do, over the counter setup stuff, but that's besides the point. But I'm saying that because, dude, Coinbase is brilliant in how they're setting up. The idea that there is that gentleman, remember on CNBC the other day, I forget the guy's name, but he says, "Oh, Bitcoin's going to 8,000."
Oh man! Oh man! Oh man!
I mean, was this
it's
like,
not
the perfect effect?
Can you be any more like? I keep thinking in Spanish. In Spanish, it's tóxica. It's like basically clingy. It's like trying to get your way, And the thing is, that's exactly what that person is trying to do. It's like they want Bitcoin to go down more so they can keep buying more. They're probably upset that Bitcoin isn't lower right now, right? than
Yeah.
what it is. It's been hanging on really strong in the top 20s and the low 30s. It's been hanging on really, very surprisingly, because between me and Pedro, like we're thinking to ourselves, Bitcoin could definitely drop in the mid 20s. It could even go down to the low 20s. It's a very strong possibility if some things give
High
way,
teens,
but
maybe high teens.
I don't know. I wouldn't. I mean, you go there. I don't think I can go there because I've looked at the charts just like you, and I mean, personally, even in the mid 20s, there's a huge support there.
Yeah, I agree.
I would say, like, if it goes below there, that means that there needs to be people that bought recently that will sell at a loss. And I just don't think that people that are buying right now are going to be panic selling. I think people that are buying right now are investors that have, some experience. All right. I mean, I just don't think that now you never know. They might be willing to sell at a 30% loss, 50% loss, but I don't think so, man. I mean, we'll see. But the point is that could it give way a little bit more and come down a bit more? It could. It could. I mean, depending on certain, macro issues that could arise. But then again, I just feel like at some point we're probably going to hear some news from the outlets. And KA, please record this part that I'm about to say.
Definitely.
I strongly believe that at some point you're going to start hearing from the news outlets that Bitcoin is going to become a hedge against the inflation and a hedge against the recession. And the reason being is that Bitcoin is a limited asset, right? There, you can't mine more than what there is available. It is something that is already being taken into account by several different countries. Shout out to El Salvador. And shout out to El Salvador's recent meeting with 44 different countries, including countries in the continent of Africa and the continent of South America, that are now being more proactive to adopting Bitcoin, right? Nobody wants to talk about that. Why aren't we talking about that? Why? Hey, CNBC, why aren't you talking about that? And the reason why they're not talking about that is because the narrative that they want is the narrative that is for you, the retail investor, for you, the common person, to sell on your crypto, on your crypto, so that they being the ones that own CNBC, they being the investors there, the big ones, the whales, Jim Cramer's posse, okay, to go and buy this asset class at the lowest possible prices so they can control, right? Because what is Bitcoin? What is blockchain? It's a consensus mechanism. The more that they own, the more that they can control. And that's what we have to stop from happening. How do you do that? Through education, through means such as this one that we're in right now, Pedro, right? And so my belief is that as soon as they have as much as they feel that they can acquire at this point in time, they will then pump out the news saying Bitcoin is a hedge against inflation. Bitcoin is a hedge against the recession. And here are the reason why. And all the reasons that we've been discussing are the reasons that they're going to be giving. And I'm telling you, this is something that could come out. And so depending on when you come in, like right now is, I think, a really good time. I'm not going to give you financial advice. I already told you we can talk about that later. But I'm telling you, man, this stuff is happening right now, man.
Absolutely. I don't disagree. You definitely see, the fact is that we can jump into some of the stuff that is going on, right? Like, you have major influencers like Gary Vee, you have Elon Musk, you have Snoop Dogg. I know people think, oh, Snoop Dogg, but listen, this man is a brilliant man, and Rafi will testify here in a minute.
Bro, wow.
That are just really pushing. You have Ashton Kutcher, you have why am I forgetting Mark Cuban? There's a bunch of tech people who've made brilliant moves in the past, and they're funneling into crypto. You have another businessman, why am I forgetting this? Tom Bailu with Impact Theory. You have a lot of these people who are really pushing, but then you have the institution, the people who typically in the past always put themselves first, right? Telling the populace, stay away from crypto or sell your crypto, right?
That's
But
right.
then you have major smart people that in the past have looked out for people, that we've seen their actions over their words,
Right.
put people first. And they're telling you, get in crypto. So with that said, tell us about VCon, my friend.
I got like 10 minutes. So
Elaborate.
we'll go over that right now. So basically, guys, I went to VCon, right? It was such an amazing experience. It was a 4-day event. Day number one, it was a pre-party outside of US Bank Stadium. They had like a concert going on. They had like a bunch of vendors. People were networking. Still people very shy because it's day one. You just flew in. By the way, a lot of us that were flying in during a hailstorm, right? And so they almost made my plane land in Iowa, which is a whole nother state. Thankfully, stars aligned, the universe, all that. And last time that we went around the airport, we were able to find land in Minneapolis. But we get there, everybody's, the people that got there that day were super thankful because they're like, oh my gosh, we almost like didn't even make it to day one. And who knows, might have not even made it to day two. We get there, and you start meeting these people that are like very, very into everything, Gary V, NFTs, crypto, all that good stuff. And so the networking kind of begins, right? Day two, you start feeling this like very openness where it's like, hey, let's start connecting with everyone. Let's learn, listen. Let's see what this is all about. And Gary Vee was very smart as to how he planned this out and how he designed the whole entire thing. On day two, which is the first day of actually being in the stadium and the workshops and all that stuff, he decides to bring in Deepak Chopra, which is like a guru, right, for like mental stability, for meditation, for just your soul, overall. Who is also very much into Web3 because in his next phase of life, what he's trying to do is leave a legacy, and he feels like Web3 and the eternalness of the blockchain will allow for all his thoughts and ideas to continue to proliferate after he's gone. And so he puts us in a state of meditation and all that. And I felt like the whole entire stadium at that point, like really like went to another level. I went to another level. When I went to that state of meditation, like after I came out of it, all the colors were brighter. I literally had tears running down my eyes and I didn't even know that I had been crying. Like it was crazy. It was a 15-20 minute meditation session. And people paid thousands of dollars, by the way, to meditate with Deepak Chopra. And that was like a gift. But here's the thing, it wasn't just me that felt it. It was like thousands of other people. So now we're there, and the networking sessions became even deeper. Like we became friends with like venture capitalists, executives at some of the biggest auditing firms like KPMG and Ernst and Young, and advisors of here and there. I mean, lots of really great professionals, right? Connecting with them and making, relationships that are definitely going to be long lasting, and that are going to help even take Moonrock to another level. And then in addition to that, there were a lot of ideas, a lot of ways to even form ideas that were taught in a lot of these sessions that we're taking into Moonrock in order to improve ourselves, because there's always room for improvement. And overall, man, the experience, that's day two, day three, day four, more and more and more of this, getting to meet Gary Vee. That was on day two. And listening to the advice around community. It's all about community. It doesn't matter if crypto is going up or down, if going round and round, whatever it is, doesn't matter. You can't have, at least us as builders and founders, and I'm talking about all of us, all right? I'm talking about everyone that is part of a crypto startup, a crypto project, or whatever. We have to take our minds away from the numbers and think about the essence of our project. And the essence is really the community, because without the community, you can't do anything. Without the listeners, without the people. So everything that we do, has to revolve around that key aspect. And that's something that, it's something that I've always been talking about, but it's something that when you hear that coming from these people that are very successful, people that are, have managed millions and billions of dollars, that have made millions and billions off a lot of these startups, and that they understand this thing, like hearing it from them, instead of hearing it from ourselves, right? Who we're in regards to building a tech startup, like we're relatively still new. These are our ideas of ours, but like hearing it coming from them just solidifies, our thoughts and ideas, which just makes things a whole lot easier, a lot better, because it's not easy when you have a lot of negativity coming from so many different areas, whether it be the market, whether it be some people in the community, whether it be people on social media or whatever it is. You have to stay strong and intact into like the originating thoughts and ideas that has even made this creation occur, right? And so having that, getting those perspectives from those people where they're telling you, hey, focus on the community. If you focus too much on the money and you just focus on the money, you're going to fail regardless. So you might as well go do something else. And I just feel like, I feel like going through all that experience has shown us that we are doing the right thing. Right now is a tough time, of course, but as long as we continue moving forward, we're going to be in the right place. So, ultimately with those sessions around ideas and around, the networking, listening to case studies, essentially, the lessons to be made. Wow. The whole thing was just amazing. I wish I could, 4 days, jam it pack into like a 10-minute explanation of what all it is. It's very difficult. But overall, it was an amazing experience. I've gone to a lot of events. I'm from Miami, right? So like Bitcoin 2022 was here, NFT, conference over there. Guys, I'm always going to events because I always want to absorb lessons, mistakes, successes, all that. I want to, so that I could, improve myself. I'm always into self-improvement when it comes to like, business and money and all those things. Like I've always been, my whole life, I've always been trying to capture as much knowledge when it comes to that, right? Now with blockchain being, a thing that's growing rapidly, and hearing lessons from people that have already done certain things, I'm going to more of and more of these events. This particular event, VCon, was unlike any of them. It was by far number one across like the list of all the ones that I've been to. So, and yeah, like Pedro was saying, listening, a lot of you might think of Snoop Dogg as like, this rapper who just smokes weed and like, whatever, he's just all show. And no, Snoop Dogg is smart. And here's the thing, a lot of people will say this, and you'll even hear this in business school, like that a drug dealer, right? And because Snoop Dogg will be like he'll say like jokes like that about himself, that like, you got to make things understandable for a drug dealer, blah 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 blah. He's funny like that. But the point is that like having that street mentality and having that type of experience actually is not saying that you should get into drug dealing or street, illegal dealing, things like that. But those people,
understanding of people.
It's that that level of that level of business and understanding and all that of that stuff actually makes you a better business person than the person that graduated with an MBA, because they have real life, experience. Yeah, well,
not just real life, but you also have, because all of us have real life, right? But at that level, you understand the true desire, and you can see the effects by causing an emotional bond.
That's a good way to put it.
You understand the emotional need and bond of people.
That's a good way to put it. You understand that. You understand the psychology of people, all that. And so when you do have that understanding, you're able to make products or be involved with products and services that align to the masses. And that is what makes something successful and where the money will come. And so listening to a lot of his ideas, and then his son, who's also very, very intelligent, and has had the fortunate circumstance to be involved in a lot of the things that his dad is in. But in addition to that, having both sides of the world of where he is able to take in a lot of this new technology and then at the same time verbalize it in a way that the masses can understand. That was also very interesting. And then seeing where they're going and what future opportunities they're working on, right? And how they're doing it in order to kind of then also for us to grasp some of that and build something from it and take some of those ideas, right? Because that's essentially what everything is. You take ideas, really good ideas from people, and you formulate your own, and then you build products and services from it. And I mean, when it comes to like the NFTs, like for example, the Raiders NFT, the Spartans, when it comes to the NFTs being made for Iron Inu, creating more utility around that, that's something that we've been talking about quite a bit. And you guys are about to see, some of the things that we're going to be coming out with for that. I just feel like, being there helped grow those ideas, and you'll see what we're going to be talking about once we release some news on that. But overall, I mean, right now I do have to go. I have a meeting that's actually coming up right now, and then another meeting like 30 minutes after that. So I really have to go to prepare for that, guys. Overall, Pedro, it's been real. I see Crypto Bulls here, so I mean, I'll let you guys do it.
Thank you.
Hey, Ralphie. Hey, Pedro. Sorry, just got out of a meeting, but definitely great catching the end of that right there. So look forward to hearing more about all that too.
Awesome, man. Well, guys, I'll be around. I just have to go now, but keep doing what you're doing, Pedro. Thank you, man.
Thank you, guys. Just to give you, go ahead, Bull. What were you gonna say, brother?
Oh no, you're good, man. I'm really just catching up on a couple of the chats here. Just followed back up with one of the charities that Iron Inu is looking at working with. So just handling some details and all that. But how's your day going for you?
Man, it is phenomenal, man. I cannot complain. I feel like as if we are definitely. It's honestly, it reminds me of when Amazon is talking about, they went from $8 to $100, right? And then, or they went from like a couple bucks to $100 in a short period of time, and then they sold off, and the price dropped down to like $8. Yet when Mr. Jeff Bezos looking at his metrics, seeing that he had more contracts coming in, more buyers, more people coming onto his website, buying books than he had ever had before. Yet the stock itself, the chart itself, did not show that. That's one of those things that he's just like, he's basically bankrupt from stock wise, but his business was generating so much income coming in that it was just like, he's like, that's just weird. And from that moment on, he divorced himself from the stock price and the company. And that's almost how I feel with Moonrock and Iron Inu, which was rebranded from what am I forgetting what it's called? Meme Chain Capital.
Yep.
Yeah, Meme Chain Capital. So it's like this beautiful, beautiful thing that it's like we've got real corporate business, real money coming in, things that are going to be moving the markets, things that are going to be moving real business products, right? And yeah, our charts don't, it's not showing it, and you can't see it, right? But the metrics are phenomenal what we have coming on, right? So it's so interesting,
Yeah, no, sometimes the charts can be lagging indicators, but 100% with everything being developed and worked on, it's definitely an exciting time, man. And I'm sure Bezos, when that your business is, producing revenue for one, and that you can see areas of growth coming forward for two, then sky's the limit. When it comes down to it. So we have a lot of exciting opportunities coming up with some of the utilities in both of the projects, and yeah, the future is, in my assessment, very bright for the projects because of the utilities that are going to be driving them.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I was looking at the markets today, right? And so we're having definitely a bullish run. I went long this morning, and not that I'm long now, but I'm long. I went long this morning on the jump, just because the market started trending up to an area where there might be, some suppliers, some sellers, some seller wings. And I was sitting there going like, if you were to look at the market in 2008, right, and said to yourself, oh, this is never coming back, that's just silly. It's literally silly, right? The market lost half its value. I believe at that time, it was, I think, 10 trillion, and it lost half its value to 5 trillion at the time, right? The market, but and when you look at it, just sit there and say this $1 trillion industry won't come back, right? Something silly. The fact is that you have revenues, you have income coming into many of these companies, case uses where people are using it and buying it, and money flowing in and out, right? To say back in 2008, from that $5 trillion mark, that it's not coming back, you're stupid. That's a stupid statement, right? I mean, not a stupid statement, but that's not a smart statement.
I think fear grips people, so
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of reasonable reasons that, people feel that way. I would just say, it's an incorrect assessment. And, sometimes it takes missing those opportunities to actually be able to capitalize on a future one.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And so now say, that crypto isn't coming back. Again, I think it's the same assessment where you saw people who just were gripped with fear and going, oh no, I'm seeing my portfolio going down half its value, because the nature of crypto is the nature of it is just simply volatility is built within the system. They're losing 80, 90% of the value of what they currently had, but they still have the coin. And if a person was to have gone and literally purchased in 2008, right, while the S&P was sitting, I believe it was at 700 or 8, I think it was 800 where it came down to. Now the S&P is sitting right now, the futures are about 4,000, right? I mean, so you literally could have done, what is that, 6x since 2008. What is that, 8, 16, 16, 24, 24, 8, so yeah, or 6 to 7x. I think the market fully went up to, it was like 4,500, I believe, or 4,000, something like that. I forget exactly what the peak of the S&P 500. But the reality is this, right? Is that it's the idea of when the markets come down, it's the best time to be looking for value and finding things. There's a good book. A lot of people know who the Oracle of Omaha is, and that would be Warren Buffett, right?
Yes, sir. The one and the only.
Yeah, yeah.
Not
Go ahead.
yeah, I mean, the opportunities to buy, to invest in projects when they're low, don't come around all the time. And, unfortunately, this whole mentality that, when the market's down, you need to be scared. And heck, if you have investments that are in and you're way down on the investments, I mean, it's legitimately, it's hard to shake that feeling that, it's bad. But at the end of the day, is like you said, I mean, knowing that the markets will turn around, having that confidence and that understanding leaves only one decision, and that is to find undervalued assets to invest in, if that's in crypto or stocks or whatever it is. And yeah, if you go back to the 2008 crash, I mean, go look at what Warren Buffett invested in. I mean, he stepped in and took major positions in major companies. he didn't seem scared one bit. It seemed like he, recognized that this was opportunity, and there's a lot to be learned there.
I think you're nailing it to the point. I mean, the reality is that we're seeing major funds throwing in billions of dollars with a B, billions of dollars into crypto startups, into fintech companies, financial tech companies that are in and dealing with crypto. I mean, Warren Buffett, even though he poo-poos good old Bitcoin, the reality is the man is one of his biggest holdings that are of recent times that he's put a lot of money into is Blizzard Gaming. And the backbone of Blizzard, besides its players, is the fact that it's buying a ton of Bitcoin on this drop. So it's something it's a very interesting thing. He can't come out and say that because obviously he's very much a traditional finance guy. It's what he does. But the reality is he's investing into things that are literally working and interacting with Bitcoin. And so it's just this almost like cat and mouse game that we're seeing with the institutions. They can't come out and say it just because of regulations and certain things that are going on within the governments in the United States. But we're seeing money coming into crypto that is astronomically, at astronomical levels. I mean, it's awesome. It's actually really cool to sit there and see this play. I think down the road in the future, I think me and you are going to sit there. You were always going to keep this podcast going and this stuff on YouTube going, and we're going to look back at this and go, remember back in 22 when we had the crypto winter? Maybe 10 years down the road when we're talking back and forth, and you're going to be like, yeah, it's just not the same thing. I mean, and again, you have the talking heads saying crypto's going to zero, crypto's going to 0.00004, right? Whatever it is, right? But then you will see in the back ends where they're creating deals. We type in, crypto news, and we see on Google. Well, probably by that time there will be another Google. If Google doesn't, switch things over to the new, Web 3.0, 4.0 that's happening, they're gonna be left behind. They have billions, and if they don't really get involved in this, I truly see them going the way of the dodo bird or like Kodak. Kodak was a juggernaut, right? But they didn't adopt digital.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I would even challenge one thing you said is, I question if this will even be a full crypto winter or just a couple storms that came through. So we'll see. Some outside factors on that. I think with the rest of worldwide geopolitical issues and obviously the battle with inflation that the world's facing. But I think crypto's resilient, and I think there's so much innovation in the space. It's hard to really hold the entire industry back, which gives you opportunity to still find some gems out there if you're doing your own research and looking around.
I agree, man. I absolutely agree. I think what's even more interesting, like, okay, so here's some of the news that I want to bring up, because this is something that just kind of blew me away, right? Like, just pulling up the good old the Andreessen, I always mess it. Andreessen, that's right. Andreessen Horowitz announces another $4.5 billion crypto fund that they're creating, that they're establishing, getting going. They raised another one. I think it was a $1.2 billion fund as well that they had for another stuff. So they keep raising. These guys are in the billions and billions of dollar mark, and this isn't the only one. There's numerous. I know that Goldman Sachs is looking for people, like literally looking for people. He's literally. I have a friend of mine who's in the hedge fund world, and was asked to be one of their fund guys, like for crypto. Like, and I'm just sitting there just going like, really? He goes, dude, I was shocked. I was actually kind of shocked, and at another person, dude, was hit up by another $1 billion hedge fund, multiple $1 billion hedge funds, to ask him, hey, are you willing? Can you come? Will you come check us out? Will you manage this fund within crypto? And dude, and he was, we're talking. They told him that he was, and this guy like runs another project, right? And he literally was like, oh man, Like we're talking, it was like $5 million, $4 million starting with golden handcuffs, right? Like we're talking like he's just like, man, you know. And obviously he's not gonna do it because he loves this project. He's, you know, it's his baby, right? But
I would definitely take it and find a way to benefit the projects as well. That's a no-brainer
right,
if you ask me. So,
right. Agreed. But it's just it's nuts.
Yeah. If not, maybe we can find a way. We'll go take that ourselves, Pedro. So definitely, that'd be great.
I agree, bro.
Now, and you know what? If you think about from the large institutional standpoint, think how easy it can be for them to make serious multiples on the investments. I mean,
Yes.
the opportunities are incredible. Now, yes, you need to vet. You need to, make sure you're getting the right ones. But if you get the right teams in place, I mean, it's not a question of if you can find the right ones. It's just a question of how many and what resources may be able to be additionally provided to make them even more valuable.
Yes.
I mean, it's truly, a gold rush. I mean, it truly, truly is, and it's not just an era of something that's going to come and go. I mean, you literally have nations. I was just reading about China's blockchain that they're making. That essentially they're rolling out this blockchain technology. If I understand it correctly, without a token or coin attached to it, but they've already built and they're finalizing through some outside companies that they've networked or partnered with for it. So this technology is here. It's recognized by governments that it's here. It's recognized as technology that's useful. It's not going anywhere. The only question is who's going to end up with the largest market share of it. That's it.
I love that. Yeah. I think you're nailing it to the point, man. I mean, literally, just that idea that how many and how far, and you, dude, it's not if, it's just a matter of when and how many are you going to take advantage of. That's just one of my things that I'm looking at going like, wow, this is phenomenal. What's up, Josh? How you doing, my friend?
What's going on, everybody?
How's it going, Josh?
Another day, another dollar. Just fixing cars.
Yes, I tell you, in 5 to 10 years, when we were talking, like, you guys remember that time? Remember those times? You'd be like, yeah, it was almost like a fond memory of greasy hands and dirty tables that you were on, or going into appointments. Like, well, you go and you do appointments, correct?
I do a variety of things. I do some appointments, yeah.
So I know that, but there's going to be times where it's just going to be a day, I think, in the past. By the way, did you check out this Water Guru thing that they have? JP Morgan envisions Bitcoin rising by 20%. Considers crypto as a preference for them to actually kind of get into. JP Morgan believes that Bitcoin's fair value is 28% higher than its current worth. The bank also said it is one of its preferred alternative assets. Crazy.
Sounds like they've accumulated all they want to.
Yeah.
Sounds like they were buying at that 38 to 40 level then. Get it back there. That is the fair value. We were buying
or they're probably buying now. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So,
100%.
I don't know.
If you remember though, there was a lot of buyers, at that 38 to 40 level. So, I mean, obviously, they want to get it back and even further. So, and that's positive for the industry in my mind. I mean, the more large, buyers that step in, they're not going to just give up on their investments and run and flee like a lot of, crypto, amateurs end up doing. I mean, they see the potential. They're going to end up buying out all the people who don't have the, the ability to really hold on these projects. So I definitely recommend if you have a good one, regardless of where the chart is on it, if it's good and you can see where the future is, not even if you believe in the future, if you can see it, it's like, okay, like with Moonrock, like, all right, you're going to have utility producing revenues coming from a marketplace, possibly wallets, or all these other different things that are out there. And Iron Inu that's going to have an actual real world product as well as other crypto related revenues coming in. If you can see where the revenues are coming from, those are the ones to hold. I mean, just bottom line. I think CZ Binance tweeted about it somewhat recently over the last week or two about you got to have the projects with utility, and if you have those and they are low market cap, I mean, to give your spot up for someone else to take it is a decision that could possibly come back to haunt you later on.
Oh, man,
Would not recommend.
I truly feel so many people are going. I mean, they're going to them selling off certain positions, right? Within the market right now, right? Like I'm just saying, boom, when those markets, even if it's a mid cap or a small cap where they're sitting at $100 million, right? They're like, oh man, it went down to 50 or 40,000 or even 30,000. They're gonna look back and just be so frustrated once Bitcoin comes around and we start to see it rally back up. That idea is just it's real simple. Is look. Granted, yes, it's down. I'm not saying it's not, but I mean, look at this here. Look at the buyers that are coming in at these levels. You know what I'm saying? Like this is USDT, 250,000, 160, 170, 90,000, 80, 76,000, 166,000, 68,000. These are real prices. These are people buying at these levels. I mean, this is what we're seeing right here. Look at this right here. The amount, right? How much it's worth, right? These are people buying these amounts right now. It's one of those things that you can sit there and see what is going on, who's buying, and you can see like right now somebody is. This is an algorithm right now currently buying. I'll show this right here. This is something that's a good thing. I'll show this here real quick. Where you at? How do I expand you, buddy? Get over here.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt that a lot of big buyers are coming in.
This is beautiful. This is beautiful. Right now, there is an algorithm. You can see at the 119 level, they are buying $119 literally every second. They don't want to move the market, so they are buying and selling, buying and selling, buying and selling. Like this is a beautiful thing, right? And as it's moving and buying, you can sit there and see that there are hedge funds trading this that are looking to get in, that are purchasing, that are getting in on the markets, and it's a beautiful thing. I mean, it really is. You can sit there and watch them accumulate. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, 4,000. Here's a novice guy. He just bought 4,000. Somebody just bought 37,000, right? Okay, they sold on 19, but then bought 119. So this is the algorithm. The market is right. They're shorting the market, right? So you can sit there and see these guys coming in and just pushing the market down. But then when it gets to a buyer level, you'll see them buy it back. Look, here's another one. Boom. These are algorithms stepping in. Right, they're buying the market. Boom. 4207. Boom. Another one. Another buy. These things are important to be able to start spotting, so you can start to see when the market is turning around. And granted, these are micro trades. These are things that are just constantly happening back and forth. But it's still something that you can pay attention to. And when you're looking at it and you're saying, are people even buying? Yes, they're buying in large amounts. 666. Look at that, Robert, 6,668. 10,000 right there. Boom. Where's that? That was a sell. 30,000 sell. Boom. Right here. So these are just little things. Buying. 20, look at that. It's beautiful. Beautiful.
Is you, Crypto Bull, doing all these buys and sells?
But the reality is they're accumulating in this area, and it's a beautiful thing. You can sit there and watch them accumulate. One of the things I did, I was talking about this earlier. Let me pull it up here. I used to sit here and look at these for hours, like literally watching order flow and watching how it comes in, looking at, that's basically what this is you're watching order flow and how it moves. This is basically the nuts and bolts. Everything is built off of this right here. This is what, if you can learn to read and understand this, you will be able to understand this. So I always tell people, start looking at this, start paying attention to the order flow, and you'll start to see the patterns of stepping in where orders are buying. So as you're looking at the chart, when it's a certain area, round number, or an area where there should be buyers because it's sold off to a certain extent. You can sit there and watch buyers stepping in, and then you see the velocity pick up. So if you're ever looking to get in on trading or look at trading stuff, your trades, the time and sales is where it's at. Everything is built off of all your indicators. Everything is built off of the buys and sells coming into the market.
Yeah, I try to keep my the order books open all the time. It's always interesting to watch. You can always see the tides turn.
Literally can. This is my guide. This is my map. And you can quickly see when it decides it wants to start to change and when it starts to move. And I really like it because you can just simply be able to gauge it. So whenever I'm looking at the markets, it's one of those things that I want to see what's going on. But I'm able to see sometimes also when you hear me saying, "Oh, buyers are coming in," that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at bigger buyers stepping in, and they're getting into the market. And so that's what I'm looking at. It takes a minute for your eyes to be able to see it and gauge it, but you're a good patterner. You can gauge what's going on. So what are your guys' thoughts on Davos and what's been going on there? Have you guys been paying attention to it at all? I know, Bull, you probably have.
We lost Bull, it looks like. But I haven't heard anything, actually, if you want to give me the lowdown.
Yeah, so yes. Oh, yeah, we did lose. I feel as if they're having some major conferences together where they're talking about how to get into crypto and which products and projects, protocols are going to be definitely the winner. I've thought about literally going on the, but I'm a little bit afraid. But just typing in, because I just don't want to go on that, the Davos site. Because then once you get noticed by them, then those are like the rulers, the overlords of our world right now. So it's like, do you want to piss them off? Do you want to troll them, or even it's like when you're in boot camp, right? You don't want to be noticed for bad or for good, right? You just don't want to stand out with it, right?
Stay out of the limelight.
Yeah, be the wallflower, right? Like nobody else can see. Like make sure nobody can see you or hear you. And you want to get through boot camp without getting scathed,
That didn't work for me.
It did not?
It did not work for me. I was definitely the limelight guy.
Oh, no. That is not good. How did it go for you?
I made it, right?
You did make it through. You did. I remember, I think it was your first week, or actually the first day, they brought in, I forget what it was. I forget exactly. So when you get in trouble, you can put into this, at least in the Coast Guard, you got put into this, what's it called? I forget what but basically you got put into this thing, and basically all you did all day long, every day, was do push-ups and sit-ups. That was it. Like you would go for a week. And huh?
It's called the quarterdeck Marine Corps side. I know that. Probably Navy too. I wouldn't. That you guys wouldn't call it the quarterdeck.
Maybe that's what it is. But basically, you were in boot camp. You were put into these group of guys that you were beat all day long, like literally just push-ups and sit-ups. I remember there was this guy. He was kind of fat, couldn't keep up, but he had a smart mouth. He was just kind of funny, and so So whenever the company commanders would come and start yelling at him, or drill sergeants would start to come yell at him, he would just he would crack jokes when they would crack, or he would laugh, right? And so finally, they just sent him there. And I remember I felt so bad for him, right? Legitly. Now, this is in the middle of January. This is January. Okay, so it's not hot, so it's kind of not hard to. It's kind of a little bit harder to lose weight. It's like I said, this guy was kind of chunky. You know what I'm saying? No joke. He the next week, cause you're there for a week and then you get out, and he probably lost out of that week because you barely see him throughout the week, right? Because you're just getting beat all day long. You eat, obviously they give you water and stuff like that, but you just get beat all day, push-ups, sit-ups, all this stuff. And he probably lost maybe 30 pounds that week, 20. I remember looking at him going like, whoa. Like, that's how bad they beat him. Like, I was just thinking to myself, like, dear Lord. Like, like, I was kind of more or less blown away by what was actually happening. But, what are you going to do?
Was a struggle. I had a couple fat bodies that I went to boot camp with that got in trouble all the time. We're always on the quarterdeck getting wrecked.
Man, he just sit there and amaze me. Yeah, so just jumping back here, it's basically day 2. Here's the one they talked about: women needing to be in Web 3.0. Women need to be at the forefront, talking and communicating, which is really interesting. Will keep you feeling comfortable. No, here we go. There's another one. Davos 2022. Brief on crypto. Yeah, it's just that's all they're talking about is literally crypto. Just nuances of it mentions that it is very bullish on the opportunity of DeFi, provide for people and developing economies. Are you ready for data monetization led by Web 3.0? I mean, this is nuts, dude. Like, this is like where the highest of people go, right? Where they're able to talk about things. And this is what they're talking about. Like, this is literally what they're talking about is crypto, crypto, crypto. And all I did was put in just Davos 2022 is what I looked at. And look, blockchains, blockchain hub. That's all that they're talking about. And this is literally the world leaders of the world. I mean, coming and talking. It's pretty crazy, I feel like.
Pretty bullish stuff.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Well, looks like Bull's not coming back. And we've been on here for almost an hour and a half. But I just wanted to bring you back on because I actually kind of got busy, caught up with a couple things, and then we needed to get this up and running. And I wanted to bring you on just because normally you're on here with us. So. You know what I'm saying, my friend?
I just lost like the last 5 minutes of what you're saying. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know. That's probably me.
It's okay. No, I was just saying.
What was it?
I was just saying I wanted to just bring you on here because you normally aren't on here with us, and I just brought you on because I realized, oh wait, Josh, and so the last few minutes I wanted to bring you on just so that you're involved because you're involved with us, So that's pretty much it. But look at this guy right here. Look at this guy. This is funny. You're around the world. You're some of the top leaders in the world, and you're this guy right here. God. This is funny. Everybody's in suits, and then boom. This is me. Suit. Important people, and fat guy. This is awesome. I absolutely love this. This would be me right here. I just show up in shorts, shirt, hoodie. This has to be a dev. It has to be, or at least a coder. Like just this. I love it. I absolutely like. I'm I'm probably about that roly-poly right now. We got some extra weight on me. It's real. I love it. And so, I don't know, it's just pretty awesome. Yes. Well, looks like everybody is having connectivity issues. So I'm going to go through. I'm gonna let you guys go. Thanks for listening today. We're gonna start doing this more often. I'm gonna start probably doing this every morning, just going over the markets, trading the markets, seeing what's going on. So just want to give you guys a heads up so you guys know. And you guys have a blessed day. Thank you for being here. And if you can, like, subscribe, share us on your stuff. And Josh, I'm closing up here, my friend. Any final words that you would like to say?
I'm so sorry, everybody. I'm really, really sorry. I get to have spotty service over here. This is no good spot. Final words. Hey, look, the market's gonna do what the market's gonna do, but if it's a little bloody out there, it's all good. It's a good time to fill your bags and hold on tight. We'll all be rich soon.
I love that. I love it. And if I could just shut this down. Why is this continuing to go? I've got a lot of tabs. I got about 40 different. All right, it's done. Boom. That's it, guys. Thank you for coming in. Again, my heart goes out to all the families in Texas who lost family members and children. May your hearts rest in peace, passed away. And for those who are still, dealing with the loss, and the grief is real, may you find solace in your heart. Sorry for your loss. Many blessings, and we'll talk to you guys soon to the next roundtable, and or also just simply us just hanging out. So I'm gonna start doing more of these guys with you. We'll start having more fun. All right, talk to you guys soon.